Our committee has been asked to present a legislative report on the regulation of the European Parliament and of the Council establishing a partnership instrument for cooperation with third countries. The main challenge the proposed partnership instrument addresses is a consequence of globalization. The texture of the world economy is changing, power is changing, prosperity is diffusing, and new players increasingly shape the international agenda. So the European Union currently does not have an instrument that would allow it to cooperate with new emerging and emerged powers on issues related to advancing core EU interests and on common challenges of global concern. At the moment, such cooperation is possible under the Instrument for Cooperation with Industrialized Countries, ICI, which is, however, limited to 17 highly industrialized or high-income countries like United States, Japan, Korea, Gulf states. Cooperation with countries such as China, India, and Brazil falls under Development Cooperation Instrument, meaning that this cooperation is confined to actions that relate directly to poverty alleviation, eradication in the beneficiary countries. We really need an instrument, a new instrument, to address these issues, and the proposed partnership instrument, which is one of the EU external policy elements. We are speaking here about financial allocation of 1.13 billion euros for the period of 2014-2020. And this regulation, as you already mentioned, will replace the financing instrument for cooperation with industrialized and other high-income countries and the territories, ICI and ICA+, which comes to an end in 2013. However, Development Cooperation Instrument, European Neighbourhood Instrument, and the Pre-Accession Instrument, together with the new Partnership Instrument, will continue over the period of 2014-2012. Partnership instruments should allow the EU to pursue agendas beyond development cooperation with global players to promote EU interests effectively worldwide and to deal with global issues wherever needed. So the instrument has three main objectives. Firstly, implementing the international dimension of the Europe 2020 strategy by supporting EU bilateral, regional and inter-regional cooperation partnership strategies. Secondly, improving market access and developing trade, investment and business opportunities for European companies. And thirdly, enhancing understanding and visibility of the Union and promoting EU values and interests. So the partnership instrument will give the priority to support external EU policies like trade, as well as the external dimension of EU policies on climate change, environment, energy, transport, employment, social policy, as well as information and communication technologies. Last week, I had a first meeting with the European Commission Service for Foreign Policy Instruments and also from European External Action Service. During this meeting, I already expressed my support to the need of this new parts in the EU external policy, but also I expressed my major concerns, and I would like to reiterate them today. So, my primary concern is the place of this instrument, the partnership instrument among other external action instruments. I would like to see very clear division lines, but at the same time, very clear coordination among these instruments. Secondly, the proposed new instrument is rather broad in scope of activities, indefinite in regions, and with limited amount of budgets. Article 2 speaks about the scope, which according to the text is all third countries, I quote, all third countries, regions and territories may be eligible. The same article also stipulates that regulation shall primarily support cooperation measures with developed and developing countries where Union has significant interest. So we all agree that with the annual budget of 160 million euros, the activities and regions shall be rather precise and targeted. So therefore, my main concern here is how and when the objectives, priorities, regions, countries, and financial allocation in broad terms will be identified. What is the planned proportion between geographic and thematic programs under this instrument? And can these countries of primarily union interest be named already in the text of the regulation? Thirdly, I would like to point out that there is, I didn't find in the text provisions on the scrutiny procedure by legislator over the multi-annual programming and key decisions on the objectives and allocations. Article 5 of this regulation refers to the joint framework document that should be laying down a comprehensive union strategy for a particular country or region. For example, in case of partnership instrument, it has been set out that where a joint framework document has been established for certain countries or regions, the multi-annual indicative programs shall be based on this document. So therefore, I would appreciate if the Commission could explain on which legal basis and how this joint framework document is drawn up, and how European Parliament scrutiny over the programming will be addressed in this regulation. Finally, in Article 5, paragraph 6, on examination procedure, there is reference to non-substantial modifications to multi-annual indicative programs as one criteria under which an examination procedure does not qualify as such is when it is about increasing or decreasing the size of the initial overall allocations by less than 20%. So I would like that Commission clarifies how this 20% is established. Finally, I would like to emphasize here that the total budget of this instrument, as I already mentioned, is 1.13 billion euros. But it's going to be less because according to the Article 8, financing of Erasmus for All program is part of this regulation as well. So I would like to receive, to have Commission's explanations how Erasmus program will be integrated and which amount of the budget of this instrument will be allocated to Erasmus program. Without any doubt, it is an important document. However, we should be sure that EU budget is used in the most effective way. So before we reach an agreement on this proposal, we should have a clear answer what we want to achieve with this instrument and how it will be achieved. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Plenty of questions to the Commission. I'm sure that you are taking notice of them. Gianluca Susta, SND.
Sì, grazie Presidente.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll be very brief because I realize time is short. But first of all, there's a political question. I think in this area there could be problems with other committees, Foreign Affairs, for example, in terms of responsibility. I think all committees will be defending their own terms of reference, so there could be conflict. Secondly, we know that all partnership and cooperation and aid agreements with third countries and developing countries are fundamental. It is part and parcel of the EU's policy for competitiveness in the world, for free trade rules which are fair and balanced, but it's also fundamental for human rights and social rights in order to strengthen bilateral cooperation in a strategic framework within which the European Union is involved. This package is an overall package of 70 billion, but what we are talking about is only a small amount. It's a small package of 1.13 billion euros. It's fairly small compared to the objective. In any case, this instrument follows on from a previous partnership instrument for cooperation with industrialized countries. It's now open to everybody, but because it's open to all third countries, we must make sure that the European Union determines which geographical area should be covered based on its own interests, which resources, which sectors, and the typology, the type of undertakings we wish to aid. And a final political point, we have seen in our debate about the ICI Plus that there was a struggle between the Parliament and the Commission about executive acts and delegated acts. We have to make sure that when defining these new instruments, we don't just give a general indication. We have to be able to go into more detail, not into execution, but we have to be able to define the criteria for which sectors and which parts of the world should be involved, because there has to be a real exchange between the Commission and the Parliament. And we have to find a way within the instrument itself to define the role of the Parliament. We reached an understanding some months ago on ICI Plus and on other financial instruments. Let's not have that argument all over again, because it was very negative. Thank you.
So let's listen to the Commission. A number of questions, objections have been raised, namely by the rapporteur, and we are eager to listen to the Commission. Mr. Gary Miller.
Thank you.
Not showing the respect that you should pay to the speakers. Please, sit down, refrain from holding conversations, and listen respectfully to the speakers. May I have your attention, please?